Well, thanks for watching Lancaster Connects, the show about small business success, small charity success here in Lancaster County, the battle of big versus small, David versus Goliath, as I like to call it, the battle on Main Street. We love to showcase businesses and charities doing amazing things right here in Lancaster. So thanks for watching.
Got a fantastic guest today.
A really great guest. Looking forward to this one for sure. We will be welcoming them on momentarily. But if you're a fan, you know the deal. Comment on the show. That gets you in our contest, the prize-a-later, and Kelvin brought over the prizes for this week. So,
are we showing what the prizes are right now?
We are. Yeah, we didn't go over this with our producer, so Chris is like just bringing his fists at us right now. He's upset because they've already flashed the $25 gift card. But what we're going to do from here is you have a choice now. You can get that gift card or some new swag from Gardeners. Less snore, more cuddle.
30 ounce
water flask.
Oh yeah.
30-ounce coffee tumbler with the fancy pants lid.
That's cool.
So
see, the cool thing about that one,
your choice.
This one doesn't fit in a lot of car cup holders.
Yep.
But this one does. This one does. Right in there.
And it's in very fashionable. I chose this color.
Yes, you did.
Ben,
and it
didn't like it at first. But
it matches the
it does.
The Gardener's blue.
But it's Havasupe blue.
Havasupe.
I think that's what if you watch the show, I have a problem with words sometimes. But we're going with Havasupe blue. It's a pretty cool blue. It's a cool color because look, when you're at the gym or you're doing yoga and everybody sets their water bottles down in the water bottle area, you know where your water bottle is going to be.
Nobody got that color.
That's why I thought the color would be really cool. So anyway.
And what's Less Snore, More Cuddle?
Less Snore, More Cuddle are amazing sleep systems where you can have these sleep systems in natural latex, in air support, hybrid support. But basically, you get less snore, more cuddle with your sleeping partner. Less back pain, more cuddle. Less neck pain, more cuddle. It's a whole thing around here. A whole bunch of systems that fit in that mantra.
What are those two letters right there?
Oh, yeah, trademarked. That's important.
Officially trademarked.
It is officially. It's like back over there is the real certificate. That's our thing. We did that. Yep, we made that. They have Mother's Day. They have Father's Day. They need Happy Trademark Day for the stuff Ben and Jeff create.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, that's your choice. You can get the swag. You can pick your choice here, the tumbler or the flask or a gift card. We enhanced it because we just thought it'd be fun. And
it is fun.
If you can spell Havasupe blue, good for you because
we should have people try to spell.
It's one of those spelling bee word words.
Is it all one word? It sounds like two words.
It is one word.
Okay.
And I don't even think I'm saying it right.
This is probably not.
Throwing your card ball for that spelling test. But anyway.
Yeah, use it in a sentence.
Yes.
So you
get words that Jeff messes up all the time.
We should keep a running tab.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the final show of the year will be all of those words.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can catch Lancaster Connects podcast numerous places. The easiest is probably Facebook on your Facebook feed in the Lancaster Connects and Gardener's Mattress and More pages. Also on YouTube, both Lancaster Connects and Gardener's YouTube pages, LinkedIn pages, personal LinkedIn pages. And of course on LancasterConnects.com, this episode is streaming live on that website. And all of the past episodes are on there as well. So not only can you see today's episode, you can see all of the previous 48. There we go.
Havasupe blue.
Havasupe. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good. Havasupai.
I can't say optometrist, but I could say Havasupe apparently. And I wear contacts. Go figure.
There's a bunch of those O words that all get confused in there. So I did just slip it in there. We have this is the 49th episode.
49th.
48 previous episodes are on the LancasterConnects.com website. But that means
50th episode
next week.
50.
That's a big one.
It is a big one. Look, if you know anything about podcasting, and this is a great time to, we didn't get the 50 episodes on our own. Our producer, Chris from Cast Ahead, which if he's inclined to show his mug, I don't know if he's prepared to do so, but he should. We don't get the 50 episodes. We're counting our chickens before they're hatched, but we're doing the episode next week because I already confirmed the guest. You don't get the 50 episodes in this format on your own and run a business. So Chris from castahead.net is a fantastic producer, fantastic partner, and a friend. And we truly enjoy his partnership. So maybe he's not quite ready to come on camera, which
He's camera shy.
He might have been doing like the lever pulling, and there he is. There's Chris, everybody. Chris Stone from Cast Ahead.
Yeah, thanks, guys. 50 episodes is amazing. So congratulations to you guys for sure for staying consistent and having such great guests and continuing to make the show better. So I'm honored to be a part of it.
Well, consistency is key. I've heard that you have to do, if you're going to do a podcast, you do it weekly, but then you have to have a consistent host, and that's exactly what you are, Chris. So we appreciate you.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you, gentlemen. And Jonna Hoover Green, she's the only reason why I joined. It was like you guys were like tugging at me, but once Jonna Hoover Green said, show yourself, I had to join. So on with the show. Congrats, gents.
Very good.
We should also give a shout out to moms. Yesterday was Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. We're a day late, but we're not going to do a podcast on a Sunday afternoon. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers listening, watching.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Mom McClure's probably watching.
She probably is. You have to comment. I think my mom's working right now.
Yeah. Yep.
But
John is a mother.
That's right.
John is a great mother. A couple of tuba players.
I hope all the moms had a wonderful day. It didn't rain. At least, no, it didn't rain yesterday.
Mm-hmm. No, it dried. The sun came out. This giant orb in the sky that dries things up, and it did it. I actually got to mow my lawn yesterday afternoon, which was I didn't think I was going to do because it was very soppy wet.
I haven't cut grass in 10 years.
Yes, this is true.
This is having teenage boys.
Yeah, my kids have to grow. Get to that point.
Yep. I own lawnmowers, but my boys use them.
Yes.
And they cut grass around the neighborhood, which is kind of cool. They each got their own little hustle. At any rate, enough of us, enough of Havasupe Blue, and enough of celebrating our 50 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring on two guests that make episode 49 amazing, or will make it amazing.
Yep.
Welcome to the show, Lynn Walker and Joe Fittipaldi. Did I say that right? You did, yes.
He's got a car racer's last name.
It is. Right? It is. It sure is. It's for sure. Well, you folks are from an amazing organization called A Week Away. And why don't you share with our listeners just a real high level, and then we'll dig in what A Week Away is all about.
A Week Away is a foundation that was started, 7-8 years ago now, with the hopes of providing respite weeks for families who are battling a life-threatening illness, whether it be cancer or another life-threatening illness. The goal is just to get them away from their treatments, from the hospital setting, from the rigors of their battle, and give them some time away to rest and recuperate and recover a little.
So this was started by a very special person. As I understand, that person's name was Caleb. Why don't we learn about that beginning and that story?
Okay, I'll jump in here. I'm Caleb's mother. Caleb was diagnosed on April 1st, April Fool's Day of 2014. Now, the fun part there is Caleb was the third of 4 boys. So you can just imagine April Fool's Day in our house. It was basically a national holiday. And but he comes home in the afternoon after seeing the doctor, and he says, I have a brain tumor. That's not funny, Caleb. You can't say that, kind of thing. And but he kind of spoiled April Fool's Day for us for the rest of our lives, basically. But we proceeded with surgery immediately, and he was actually paralyzed. Fought his way back. We had to wait 22 days for pathology. As I tell you this, you have to understand that this is fairly normal for families that are dealing with cancer. So it's not that we're necessarily anything special, but a long wait for pathology, and it comes back a very rare form of clear cell anaplastic ependymoma. Fortunately, we were able to go to CHOP to follow up treatment. So after he healed from his first surgery a little bit, we went down to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. And this is really where I believe the seed for A Week Away was planted. We're in this waiting room, and in the whole 6 years that we, were treated there, I'm positive that it was the most crowded on that day. probably 100 some people there. And he drops his head on my shoulders. Now, this is like a tough 18-year-old kid, and he drops his head on my shoulder and he just starts to get emotional and teary-eyed. And I'm like, honey, it's okay. We'll be fine. We're going to beat this. We're going to be fine. And he says, no, Mom, what did they do? And I'm like, who else is here but us? I am only thinking of him. And I follow his gaze, and he's looking all the way across the room at a young teenager holding a little tiny infant. And literally, she looked to be probably 16 years old with no one there with her. And if they were in that room, that little baby had cancer. And it just hit me, and he said, what do they do? Who helps them? Where do they go? He says, we have our friends, our family, our faith. He says, we have so much support. We are so blessed. Who helps them? I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that was the day that the seed was planted. He went home from there, and we began our battle. And that's where he kind of drew Joe into the picture a little bit. And Joe can follow up in a second, but 3.5 years later, after his third brain surgery, he was worn out, and he's trying to graduate college, and he's trying to, try to live a normal life. And he went for a ride on the boardwalk, in Ocean City. This is after we used to live there. And, after 2 hours, and I'm starting to get nervous because you've had a couple brain surgeries, balance might be a little bit of an issue, all these things. He comes bursting through the door and he says, I know what I'm going to do. And I'm like, beat cancer, graduate college, get married. He goes, no. He said, for the first time in almost 4 years, I just felt normal. And he said, I found myself dreaming of my future, planning and having hope. He says, I want to give this hope to people. This is what I want to do. So he dropped out of college, and he went home, and he promptly told his friend Joe. Joe?
Yeah. So Caleb got back from this trip, and he, we had worked together at the time, and he came bursting into the office, and he just says, guys, I got it figured out. And it was myself and Marie, who was previously our vice president. She was sitting there with us, and he says, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a nonprofit. Now, bear in mind that previous to this, his last greatest idea was that he was going to drop out of school and start flipping houses. And he was going to learn how to do that on YouTube. So we didn't really take him too seriously at this point. So he said, all right, tell us about it a little bit. And he said, well, he told us about his trip. He was away. And one thing that really stood out to me, and I'll never forget, is when he said, Joe, he said, that was the first time, he said, when I was away and I was on that bike ride, he said, it was the first time I wasn't thinking about how long until my next treatment or, the possibility of another surgery. He said, I started thinking about getting married and buying a house and, a lot of the things that a lot of us will take for granted. And so I could tell that this was really something he was serious about. So Marie and I said to him, we will help you 100%, but we need to see, something concrete. So put together a business plan, and we can talk about helping you get this foundation up and running. And it wasn't maybe 2 weeks later, he came, back into the office. He had a full business plan lined up. He had already spoken to an attorney and figured out that nobody had the name a week away. And that's what he wanted to name the foundation. And so from that point on, it was just, let's get a board of directors together and start this foundation and see this mission through. And fortunately for him, before he had passed, he was able to see our first family be sent away. So he kind of got to see his dream come to reality. And since then, this year we will actually, I believe next month, we'll be sending our 200th family away on a week-long respite.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
We've come a long way.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. So, he's going through these treatments and, of course, just, dealing with the diagnosis and everything. And he's thinking of other people and their situations and what they're going through and looking to give back. It's just unbelievable. It really is.
Yeah. And I think something else, on that note is that he saw this as for what it was. It wasn't just him that was going through this. He knew it took his whole family. It took friends. He would call his care team. So he was adamant from day one that we're not just, this isn't a make a wish. This isn't this isn't a dying wish. This is a chance to send away a care team to give them a chance to just be a family or just be themselves for a week so that they can come back and feel the same hope that he felt when he got back. But he knew it wasn't just him. It was his mom. It was his dad. It was his brothers. It was, his friends, anybody who was involved in his care, he felt it, his responsibility to make sure that we could take care of those, these care teams, as we move forward.
So how does somebody qualify or how do you find the people you can give these respites to?
Our number one referral source right now is from social workers through some of the local hospital systems, from CHOP, Lancaster General, the Barsinger Center, Penn State Hershey. We see a lot of the social workers who are dealing with these families directly on a regular basis. And they kind of know what we're looking for. We aren't looking to grant wishes. Again, I think that's a big, something that we see a lot of. People will ask us, hey, I've always wanted to do this. Can you fly me here or there? And that's not what our mission is. So the social workers really understand what we're trying to do, and they'll match us up with candidates that they know they could really use it. But anybody can apply for a respite right through our website at weekaway.org. We just ask that, we have an application from the patient or the care team, and then an application from the medical professional, just indicating that they're safe to travel and that they would be a good candidate for our mission.
Are these mostly adults, children, families, combination of everybody who
any age?
No, any age. We've sent, families with little babies that had to get a heart transplant, all the way up to one of my favorites was a grandfather with his grandchildren and hunting dogs. He just wanted a rustic, respite away. And also to follow up, I used the word respite. Caleb was pretty adamant. And as Joe said, it's not about bucket list, checking something off and then saying, I did that and I'm giving up. He was adamant. I'm not giving somebody a bucket list. And because we want to empower them and give them the strength to continue their battle. But and we also don't use the word vacation. That's a dirty word to us, because everybody needs a vacation. You would say that, I would say that. But a respite, how I define it is literally when someone is holding on by their fingertips and they can't hold on any longer. And we like to feel like we come in underneath and lift them up. And we take the stress out of their world for one solid week where they don't have to worry about anything. And I just got off the phone not an hour ago with a mom who's applied, and she said, I just want to tell you more. I said, she said, I just want to explain how much we need this. And she's crying. She says, we just can't go on. She said, I don't know how to explain this. My husband, I don't know how to take care of my husband this way. I don't have the strength anymore. I said, you don't have to explain one more thing. This is why we're here. And this is what our amazing volunteers do. They custom design these respites to the specific needs and desires of the families. Joe, tell them about opportunity costs.
Yeah. So Lynn touched on it a little bit where, she said that we want to make these respites as stress-free as possible. And what we learned early on is that a lot of, families and members of the care team have already exhausted their PTO or their vacation time, their sick time. And so, if we're sending them away, like most of the time it's without pay. So we will go as far as to cover their opportunity costs, for any lost wages or anything that may result in them taking a week-long, trip or even just a long weekend in some cases. But the goal is just to make it completely stress-free. You don't have to worry about anything. We'll take over from here. We give them, prepaid Visa cards to spend while they're away. It's 100% taken care of. And I say by us, but really it's our donors who fund these. And we are incredibly fortunate to live in Lancaster County. With, when we first got into this, I had no nonprofit experience. All I had was Caleb telling me I had to do this. And, we learned very early on that this is a hotbed for nonprofits, and it was a very competitive area. But it became obvious pretty quickly that it's because it's such a generous community. I mean, people are willing to give of their time, their resources, their money. It's just been a really humbling experience being part of this organization and seeing that level of caring in Lancaster County, which is just fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of really good nonprofits here. And we're fortunate to be where we are today because of the people who donate.
Right. That's really true.
How do you determine or help a family determine where to go and what to do? And what does that look like?
generally when we receive an application within 2 weeks, it's looked over, researched and voted on by our board of directors, and then it's handed off to our respite committee. And these are people that are amazing. An aspect of volunteer that are actually on a committee, so they're doing a considerable amount of work. And they will call. They're assigned the different families. Someone will call and we listen. We listen well and plan a respite. According to how the physical abilities, the desires, location wise, what they like to do, how many kids, how many people are involved, and then we'll investigate and tailor make that respite to the needs of the families. Now, we do not absolutely send anybody on an airplane anywhere. That is the most stressful thing you could do to a family, and especially in a medical situation. But within basically a day's driving, 750 miles, we will go down as far as the Outer Banks and up into New York. We have rustic respites in the mountains of Pennsylvania. And then there are urban respites, which we are not really doing right now. It's not really stress-free to send someone into one of the cities on the East Coast, like Philly or New York or Pittsburgh or DC. But we do offer a lot of respite locations on the ocean, the whole East Coast, basically. And some will, we will research. So we use some places year after year. We do Airbnbs and that type of thing. But again, carefree. As much as paying for the parking at a hotel. There's nothing that they have to worry about at all.
That's just really tremendous how you all put that together to create such a great experience and relief, as we're calling it, respite being the word.
If I could, I actually skipped something, and it's pretty important. If they need nursing care, we provide the nursing care. So also they're going to locations that are suited for that. In some cases, then they can bring their pets. We'll find locations that accept their pets, because pets are a pretty important part of many people's families. So the idea of having to find a place to board them, it just wouldn't be stress free. So things like that. Like I say, we try to cover absolutely every single detail.
That's pretty amazing. Just so our listeners know, and if you don't want to share, that's fine. I know in our past, we've worked with Make-A-Wish, so we've come to learn what the average wish expense is. Can you share what that is, what the average week away costs your foundation, so our listeners can know, and it might frame what they choose to give?
Joe, you want to handle that?
Sure, yeah.
My job is to stand on a street corner with a tin cup and ask for money. So I answer this question all the time, but I want Joe to take this.
Well, believe it or not, just like everything else, the cost has gone up tremendously over the last couple of years. Just, with the price of gas being what it is, properties are going up. But right now it's averaging right around $4,000 for a week. So anywhere between $400 and $4,500, depending on the size, depending on the location, and depending on the needs of the opportunity, whether or not they need, their opportunity costs covered. That is an average. Some of them are much more, some of them are much less, because we may get a property donated to us, and that's a huge part of the expense. So right now it's right around $4,500.
Yeah, I was just thinking, so Ben and I are involved in a couple, peer-to-peer type of mastermind network groups where business owners gather to, talk and plan and improve their businesses. And within that one group, there's a number of Airbnb owners. So, after the show, I'll do what we do with the files and the videos and the links. And I'm going to definitely share this with them to see if they would be willing to contribute time in their properties. Anybody listening, I think you can feel it right through the screen. It's not often that I'm speechless, but I've been pretty quiet this one because it's hitting me. If you've got a property, you can donate a week here and there. Is there, not that you would do this for the tax write-off, but is that something that can happen, Joe, Lynn?
Yes, we are a 501c3.
Like so any donation, I guess that would be a donation in kind. Is that right?
Gift in kind, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right. Mm-hmm, exactly.
So there's that.
And we really felt the pinch last summer after everybody came out of COVID. It became very difficult to find places.
I'm sure.
and the cost went up really. I mean, we got hit last year. So, as Joe said, the average is about 4,500, 4,300, but, it hit a lot, several times last year, over $5,000. So,
you mentioned it earlier in the show about Lancaster being such a giving place and great place to start and operate a nonprofit or a charitable organization. Obviously you can't do what you do without great people on staff, and we can talk about some of your staff members in a little bit, but you have a number of local corporate sponsors, and I think it would be great to give some of them a shout out because I'm sure they donate some time and a lot of funds to these respites. Maybe Chris can bring up the webpage of corporate sponsors there and just share a little bit about what some of these companies give back to the organization.
Wow. Well, I'll jump in here and say Westfall Orthopedics was the very first organization that came on board and have been just amazing, faithful, generous, giving sponsors for us. Can't say enough about them, truly. We've been blessed by Lancaster County Motors Subaru several years now. They have made us their local charity for Share the Love campaign the whole month of December. And they've just been amazingly gracious. Speedwell Corporation, Wolfgang Corporation. Members First has been very generous to us over the years. Also, you go down, we have those listed as corporate sponsors because basically they're bigger businesses. But you go to what I call faithful friends. Caleb, when he knew that he was going to start a week away, he dropped out of college and he just worked so many different jobs to try to raise money. And he worked at a lot of pubs downtown. And so Tellus 360, Annie Bailey's, Springhouse, Our Town Brewery, he has friends at all of those places. And they actually are a very special part. I always laugh because they're crazy guys, but we created a pub cup within our golf tournament so just that they could have bragging rights for who's the best golfing pub in Lancaster County. So Our Town Brewery actually creates an amazing IPA during the Christmas holiday season called Like the Tree IPA. And that they started that last year and sold it around town, and it will be completely sold out in a matter of a week or so. So we're going to have a lot more of that. Event sponsors, we have Hess Auctioneers and Garber Farms. From the very beginning, they've been on board. So just again, very thankful. You can see, all the different people. But I also want to specifically mention, not in money, but what I call partners in mission. And they're on this page, and they are the different foundations that we work with. And we truly would not be here without the Jeff Musser Foundation. And if, I think that's a great one if you want to have them on. Circle of Hope is the philanthropic arm of the Heller Capital Group. And that's each of their companies. They add in all of the employee donations and then choose local needs to donate to. Field of Hope is another organization that deals with cancer families and paying for their bills and whatnot. Brittany's Hope has been an amazing mentor and donor to us as well. And they deal with at-risk adoptions. So there are just so many. I mean, as Joe said, and you mentioned, and Caleb realized, we are so blessed to live in Lancaster County, and can't say enough really about it. Hearts Physical Therapy is one that comes to mind also. They've been very, very good to us. So,
yep. Yeah. Well, I said it in the pre-show. I mean, it's a really amazing list of sponsors. You're just doing some pretty amazing work to work with such big companies like that, great companies. It's so nice to see the names on there that support you. I kind of want to take a step back because you said something that was really interesting to me about how your board has to vote on these respites. And I can't imagine what that's like to have to decide, because I would imagine something you can't grant all requests, can you?
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
It's very rare that we're unable to fulfill.
That's awesome.
I will
awesome.
say the challenging part is having to read these stories. It's, you're hard pressed to find anybody who hasn't been touched by cancer, or a family member or friend who's gone through it. And just reading these stories can be very heartbreaking. To go through time and time again. But the light at the end of the tunnel there is that that you're going to be able to provide them with something that's going to help them, and it's going to give them what they need in order to continue fighting. But I would say that probably 95 to 98% of all respite requests that we received are approved. The only times that they may get denied is if the application is incomplete, or if we can't get clearance from a medical professional, or if they're a couple of the ones that I remember were being that we had to decline were people who were looking for more of a wish, where they wanted to fly to the Caribbean one last time or something like that, which isn't our mission. And so in those instances, we have been able to, as Lynn said, we put together our list of other nonprofits in the area that we can, instead of saying, sorry, we can't help you, it's more or less, that doesn't really align with our mission, but here is somebody who we feel, based on our network, would be a good resource for you, and for what you're looking for. So, we never abandon these people and just say, no, it's always no, but here's what we can do to help you, or here's somebody who may be able to help you.
Exactly.
And I think another important thing to note is that, a couple of things. You had mentioned, the personal touch that's provided with providing these respites. I can't stress enough the fact that this is a volunteer-run organization. When you talk about staff, it's all volunteers, and it's great for two reasons. Number one, that means we can tell you that any money that you donate is going to go directly towards helping our families. All of the money, all of the fixed expenses that we have throughout the year is all covered within our golf outing. So anything above and beyond that is going right towards these families. And that's, probably only 20% of our golf outing is used to fund our expenses for the year. The rest of that goes towards these families as well. So, but the work that they do, our volunteers are just absolutely incredible people who selflessly devote themselves to these families and to this mission, which I think is just a real testament to Lancaster County as a whole, that we have people here who are willing to give that kind of time and energy.
Another reason that I think we have such a high percentage of approvals is the hospitals that we work with. The social workers that we work with, they know the structure that we work within. And, I had a call today, guy saying, it was actually a no, but he said, I know you don't do this county yet, but how soon do you think you'll be up here? And I want to share with my coworkers, where you guys are at this year, kind of thing. And that was Penn State Hershey. Our social workers know our geographical boundaries. They know what we're doing. They know, who to send us. But as Joe said, also, we never, ever say no without giving them another option.
Right.
And because having been there, I mean, it's such a hopeless situation so often. We want to give them a glimmer one way or the other. Either we are sending them on a respite, or someone else is able to reach out and help them. So again, we're blessed by the people that we're surrounded by.
You mentioned the golf outing, and I know you have other events as well. Tell us about those events.
Well, we've kind of limited it, actually. We put so much into the golf outing, and I'm going to say it right out. Right, Joe? We have the best golf outing in Lancaster County.
Hands down.
We do. Hands down. We have it at Hershey Country Club. Every year we're on the West Course. Hershey Country Club is very good to us, and we get fantastic sponsors. It is a fun time. Caleb always watches over us, and we've had fantastic weather. And it is going to be Friday, August 26th at Hershey Country Club. And we're open for reservations right now. So it sells out very, very quickly.
Wow.
So any businesses out there that want to sponsor a foursome, jump on in. You can find us at aweekaway.org right on the front page there.
And what is so you sign up by foursome, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't take singles. You need to take a foursome.
Yeah, basically it's a sponsorship event. Yeah.
That's fine. And what's the sponsorship fee for a foursome?
So the lowest is a silver, and that's $2,000. Then we go to gold, which is $3. Event is $5, and corporate is $10 and over. So
the Caleb Walker Memorial Golf Outing is there's kind of a funny story behind that. We did it originally as the A Week Away Foundation annual golf outing. But when Caleb had passed away, he had always told us that this organization was not about him, and he never wanted it to be about him. And we always told him that, even, as towards, the end there, we told him we would make this about the families that we serve. It's not about you. But right when he passed away, Marie, who was our vice president at the time, and I decided, you know what? Forget what he said. We're going to name the golf outing after him. It's going to be his memorial. It's just something that we can do to honor him and his legacy and what he's done for this community and for all the families that we serve. So if he would, he's still giving us great weather every year, but I'm sure he's not happy about the fact that we named this golf outing after him. He's just such a selfless person. I mean, he never wanted any recognition for any of this, but he always said, just make it about the families. And I think we do, aside from the golf outing, but
yeah. Right. And he loved golf, right? So what a great way to
He was terrible at it, but he loved it. Yeah.
What was that? I missed it.
They said Caleb was not very good at golf.
Oh, okay.
But he loved to play.
But loved it all.
No. But if you were to ask Caleb, he would say he's great at everything.
Yeah. Great at founding charities.
That's being the third of four sons. You have to have a survival mode there.
That's right. That's right.
But it is a wonderful event to celebrate, our success stories and just to gather with our sponsors and to give them a taste of what we can do. So it's, you guys are invited. Come on out.
That's awesome.
Right. We'll check it out for sure.
We
Yeah.
can swing the sticks. You also, we saw Pint Night on your website.
Yeah. So again, Our Town Brewery, the guys up there, great small business. They're really having a successful time now. Boy, they launched at a bad time with COVID starting, but they're coming out the other side. But very, very giving. Again, all these guys in the Pub Cup have done amazing things for us. Tellus, Annie Bailey's, Our Town Brewery, the Bull's Head Pub up in Linnitz. But Robbie Tarvis at Our Town worked with Caleb when he was working at, I think, Springhouse it was. And Robbie had shared at one point that he's going to have a place of his own someday. And, I crossed my fingers and prayed for that, told him I'd keep a secret. And he comes back last year and said, okay, if I can finally do it, I always wanted to have a beer for Caleb. And Light the Tree in Lancaster is a very significant story for us. It's very important to us at A Week Away. And so we decided to name this beer Light the Tree IPA. And the different pubs in town all sold it and gave us $1 from every beer they sold. And that just became a big thing. But twice a year now, Robbie also Our Town does a pint night for us to help raise money. And again, $1 from every beer sold goes to us. So one is in May, and then one is during our Light the Tree campaign in December.
Okay. So the Light the Tree IPA is Caleb's beer.
It is Caleb's beer.
That's so
absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah. And you said the Light the Tree is a special story. So what's that about?
Well, it's Joe, you might have to bail me out here. But Caleb coming down the end, I remember as he started having seizure again in October 17th, 2014. And we took him down the chop, and the doctor said, is he going to be able to understand what I'm going to tell him? Because he literally had 130 some seizures that night. And here, they did the MRI, and his tumor was just strangling an artery in his brain, and it was getting, just huge. And that's when he told me that he's might not live out the week. He's definitely not going to live out the year. And he says, I have to tell him. So the next morning, kind of woke him up, and the doctors came in, and they said, Caleb, you're not going to make it. You're not going to live out the year. And he takes the doctor's arm, like this. He grabs it and he says, that's not acceptable. He said, you keep me alive. He said, I don't want you, they were just trying to figure out how they could treat his pain and make him comfortable. And he says, you keep me alive. You give me everything you have to give me. I have to get to my fundraiser, which was Light the Tree in the center of Lancaster on, the Friday after Thanksgiving. And Caleb was scheduled to speak that day. And that was the kickoff of the fundraiser that would really give us the funding to get established. And that particular day, he had so many seizures. I remember one of our board members, Mason, and Caleb's brother, like telling them, you hold him up if you have to. You don't let him out of your sight, because he refused to stay home. And he went, and he was able to give his speech, long pause in the middle where everybody's holding their breath. And he finishes, and then he proceeded to hand out some 2,000 information rack cards. And we had everybody celebrating inside. We took him home, and 2.5 days later, he passed away.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So he made it to light the tree.
Light the tree. So, if you ask me something special in Lancaster, it's like the tree, every year. So
yeah, actually, I picked him up that night to take him downtown, and we got about halfway out of the neighborhood, and he goes, "Oh, you got to turn around." And I said, "Are you okay?" He said, "Yeah, I forgot my seizure medicine. My mom will kill me if I have a seizure on stage." I said, "Okay, we'll go back and get it."
We'll go back.
So we went back and got it, and then he was getting ready to go up on stage, and I was walking up with him, and he turned and looked at me dead in the eye and just said, "I got this." He said, "You do not have to come up there with me." And I said, "Well, Lynn's going to kill me, but go ahead."
Yeah, because I made him a promise. Yeah.
And he went up and he did it. He did awesome, and
he did
but that was he had to make it to that event, and that was just part of what kept him going.
That's amazing. And then here we are, almost 200 respites later.
Yeah.
200 families impacted. That's pretty cool. So the respite is over. What are some of the impacts and maybe some of the stories you can share that this week away has made for some of these families?
I can think of one right away. I was just this weekend at a graduation party for someone. They graduated from physician's assistant school. So we sent this person, I won't use any names, but this was the largest respite that we ever did. And we sent this one person and her sister. They both had cancer at the same time, and their nephew. So we sent basically three families away to the Outer Banks, and they had a fantastic time. And the joy I get from all this basically epitomizes everything that Caleb wanted to do. He wanted to have families get together and have great memories. He wanted to inspire them to keep going, to keep fighting. So one sister just finished writing a book about her experiences, which you can buy on Amazon. And it's called Go Home Cancer, You're Drunk. And but it's a great, very honest, sharing of their journey. And so good book. The other girl just graduated. Like I said, she became a nurse. She actually finished her chemo treatment the day that Caleb's memorial service was. So she rang her bell that day and then went on to nursing school, graduated, and now she works in town, in the community. Another thing that was important to Caleb. And so she had her graduation party this weekend, and I was there. And the little guy's doing great as well. So, we're 3 for 3 with that family. And the whole idea of, putting them in a situation where they can come back empowered, where the body has a chance to recoup. We can buy some time. If we buy time, there's research that can save lives, and we can win some battles. So that's one of my favorites. Joe, do you have one?
I think it's just the fact that, we often tell these families that when we send them away, that this isn't just a one and done type thing. We're here for you as a resource. We're with you through your fight. Lean on us if you need to. And I think, based on Lynn's experiences with Caleb, she's able to connect with a lot of these families, specifically, parents of children, who can reach out and I mean, how many people do you talk to when they get back from a respite, Lynn? I hear about it all the time, these conversations, and, families that just need a little bit of hope and a little bit of light, even if, 6 months, a year after we send them away. It happens all the time. And I think that that's important because, sometimes people just need to know that somebody's there for them, regardless of, whether we've already taken care of you from a week away standpoint, but, also just call us. We're here for you. And it happens all the time. But one that I really love it, and Lynn kind of talked about it earlier in the show, was the gentleman who he had a very bleak diagnosis, and he said all he wanted to do was go to a cabin in the woods with his family and his dog. And that's what we did. We got him a cabin on a lake. He was able to go fishing, and the pictures that they sent back of him and the smile on his face and the smile of his family. I mean, his grandkids were there and his children, and it was just an awesome memory for me. This was one of the first ones we did too. I think it was the first 10. But seeing those pictures, because they took some really good pictures, and seeing him with his dog in the boat, and it was really, really cool.
Another cool aspect of that is the trickle down effect of this. Like Joe said, when people come back, they share such amazing things, but they also do amazing things. They start their own foundations. They help other people. I mean, it's phenomenal. We would not be here if it weren't for Jeff Musser pouring himself into Caleb and mentoring Caleb.
Wow.
And he runs the Musser Foundation, which is just a great foundation. So people, out of their misery, out of their journey, they go on to share amazing things. So as Caleb would say, we're blessed.
Well, I mean, you all are doing just tremendous work. And this is a thought I've had in my mind for the last handful of weeks. I think it's really appropriate to share it here. And the thought has been, a lot of people might be frustrated in a moment of struggle, and they revert back to, God doesn't give us more than we can handle. And I think the way I'm beginning to think about that is we're given what we're given because we have the strength to do so and carry it forward. And obviously Caleb was given that at 18 in that waiting room.
Yeah. Thank you. And also I have to say too, my buddy Joe here, I mean, probably the best thing Caleb did was surround himself with good people. Yep. I can't say enough. As a mother, you love things like that. Now, out of this, Caleb's had a bar named after him, T. Caleb in Tellis, and he's had really great friends like Joe run his foundation. So those are two pretty fun highlights, But again, thanks for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah, I think if there's one lesson to take away from Caleb, it's not necessarily a week away is great, and we love what we're doing here. But one thing that I learned from him, and you kind of touched on it, is that you don't always have control over your situation, but you do have control over how you respond to that. And, Caleb was, this isn't going to defeat me. He's like, it may take me down, but I'm going to leave my mark and I'm going to do something great before I go. And he did. And that in and of itself has stuck with me, and gotten me through some pretty tough times. But in fact, I named my son Walker after Caleb Walker. So, and now my son starts to ask me questions about him, and he sees pictures of him, and I can tell him these great stories about how, he never gave up, and he was just such an inspiration to a lot of people.
I can't think of a better legacy to leave than the one he's left. That's awesome. We have a bunch of listeners and a bunch of people who will watch this. How can our listeners support A Week Away? What are some ways that we can support?
Well, yeah, obviously we love money, but that's the least important thing. The best thing you can do for us is to give us referrals. Somebody that is battling a life-threatening illness, give them our information, tell them to talk to their social worker, their care team, and go to our website and check us out. That's the best thing you can do for us. We love volunteers. And we have different categories of volunteers. We have our respite committee and our events committee, and they're the heavy duty. If you're a planner and you have some time to give, those are two places that we plug you in. But then we also need event volunteers. If we do have an extracurricular thing for pint night or during Light the Tree or something else, those are we would use our event volunteers. So those are very important. And obviously you can donate at aweekaway.org anytime. And you know what? There's nothing too great, nothing too small. We have someone who donates $2 a month. I love, that is my favorite donation. And obviously we touch their heart, and, they have restricted means. Some people can give a lot and not think twice about it. Other people giving $2 or $5, it's a sacrifice, but everybody's giving us is giving sacrificially. And so for them to invest in us, for them to believe in our mission, that's we're very grateful for that. It touches my heart that they would believe in our mission enough to sacrifice for us. So.
Yeah, that's very cool. I like the $2 donation too.
Love it. Love it. Just amazing.
Yeah, that's very neat. Very neat.
Just a question. Was Caleb's speech, the Light the Tree speech recorded? Is that anywhere for
WGAL has that? I can look in our files. I'm the least technological person in the world, so I might not be the one to find that for you, but maybe we can come up with it. And WGAL did, film the night.
Broadcast it. That's cool.
Yeah. He's had other interviews also that have been, pretty decent. I can send some things your way.
That'd be neat.
Yeah, that was
neat to see.
very, very poignant. Yeah. Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about the charity or about Caleb or anything else you'd like to share?
Just thank you to Lancaster.
Yeah.
I mean, to everybody out there, if there's anybody listening who's donated or sent us a referral or even is just thinking about, one of those things, thank you. And thank you guys for giving us the time today and allowing us to be on your show. This was a lot of fun. It's always good to share our story and be able to think about what this is going to mean to another family in the future. And it really is exciting.
Yeah. And we really are really trying to reach into the city and meet the needs in our own community. That's so important to us. It was so important to Caleb. He'd just he lived in town. He would ride his bike around. He read a book, Never Eat Alone, and he never did. He tried to grace all the different places in town. And again, that's in a nutshell, the community. His love for the community is just a huge reason why we are here, why we love being in Lancaster. We want to stay in Lancaster. And again, as Joe said, thank you. We're just, as Caleb said in the beginning, we're so blessed, and we really feel that.
Well, so. And this is your episode. Please share it with your social media. And of course it's on YouTube and, Facebook and all of that. So if you need to get the word out and this video helps, that would be fantastic. That's why we host this show. That's why we do it.
Great. Yeah. And it's so cool that you guys do the nonprofits and the small businesses in town. That is awesome. It's just awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, thanks for being on the show. This was a special one for sure. I guess we're ready for the connection cocktail.
That's right. We passed
back the things.
Got the connection cocktail. No drinks. Just fun questions. I think we probably know the answer to the second question.
Yeah.
but
plug it away.
The first question, and you each can answer. What is your favorite thing to do in Lancaster?
I consider myself a foodie.
Okay.
One of our volunteers and I always get together and go out once a month to a restaurant in town, kind of jump around. So it depends on what you're looking for at any given time. If you fine dining or rooftop dining or, quick dining, but we have so many fantastic options here in town. So that's just a real treat for me to do that.
So I'm going to hit you with what's your favorite? Do you got like a go-to?
Luca off the top of my head is probably my favorite.
Yep.
Okay. But it would again depend on, are you looking for a nice summer night and you just want to go grab something light, the Telus, Barbary, for nice fine dining. Love them. And they've been very good to us as well. Belvedere, best cocktails, Horse Inn.
You can't go wrong with any of them.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so just, again, there's so many great things about Lancaster. It's just amazing. You tell people and people think it's horse and buggies and it's so much more, so much more.
Yep. So Joe, same question.
Yeah, I would say, well, number one, probably be golf. And I would do that anywhere, whether it's in Lancaster or anywhere.
Okay.
But no, one of my favorite things to do specifically in Lancaster is, just a nice summer evening, take my wife and my son and, maybe some friends and just walk around downtown, stop in a few of the local restaurants, have a beer here and there. And, the first Friday is always fun. Music Friday is a blast. Take the kids down there. And it's just, there's always so much to do here. And, we're just very fortunate to be part of this community.
Yep. It's awesome.
Well, we think we know the answer to this, but we're going to ask it anyway, because it's on the notes that you probably got from Ben, the annual event you love to go to.
Well,
yeah, I already hit that one.
Yeah.
Right?
Is there anything more than the Caleb Walker Memorial?
There we go. And when is that?
Well, that's when?
That's August 26th. Right?
August 26th. Yep. Yeah. So there's that for Joe. And obviously that's a big one. But I spoke about Light the Tree, and that's just a great thing that we try to do every year as well. So,
I don't mind.
But they kind of go hand in hand.
Lynn, you said a while back about we love money. I don't mind the shameless plugs. Love it. That's why we do the show.
Hey, give me money. You want to sponsor? You want to be part of a great event? You can come and be a sponsor at our golf outing. Okay, that's one way to contribute. And actually, maybe you can bless some of your employees or reward some employees. Give it as a perk and incentive. That's a good way to do that.
Yep.
Also, there's donations. Of course, Extra Give is a great thing in Lancaster, and where we take donations. Then we don't really plug it because we do Light the Tree so close to it. I don't want to double dip basically, but we do take any money that you give us for sure, with a big thank you. And then at the end of the year, we have the Light the Tree campaign, and that's another outlet that you can make a donation to us, especially end of year giving, if you want to include it in that. So aweekaway.org, you go to our website, click make a donation, and it's just very easy there. And you can find us on all the social media platforms. We're definitely out there. So yeah, $5,000 will send a family away. So if you want to adopt a family, basically, that's how you can do it.
Yep.
And if you want to do it and get some nice perks back, you can come to Pint Night and make a donation and enjoy a beer and contribute that way. So
I love it.
Low key and high level.
Yep.
It's we'll take it any way it comes.
That's right.
But even more so, give us referrals. Everybody's family is hit by something. So if there's a way that we can help, we'd love to do it.
Yeah,
very fantastic. Just the last connection cocktail question. When you have friends and family in Lancaster who live outside of the area, is there a special part of Lancaster that you try to impart on them, whether it's something that goes on or something that you like to do? What part of Lancaster do you impart on friends and family from out of town?
For me, it's Central Market, and I think it's because you can go down there and get some really great stuff, but it's more than just the community of people that are there. You really get to experience a very diverse group of people, and everybody's always so friendly. It's and then go out for breakfast afterwards and experience more of it. It's just the people of Lancaster are what makes this place so great. And what better place to see it than at Central Market?
That's awesome. Lynn, same question.
Yeah, I think it would depend on who. If it's families, you can take them downtown, or Thomas, the train engine. I actually live bordering a couple Amish farms. So if you sit on my deck under the shade of some really nice trees, you could just watch them work really hard while you're sitting back having a beer, So there's that, the atmosphere of Lancaster. Downtown is a gem to me.
Sure.
And we used to own a stand in Central Market. So I certainly appreciate that. And they've been very good to us. But yeah, the whole downtown atmosphere is just fantastic to share.
Very good.
That's really neat.
Well, Lynn, Joe, this has just been a real pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks for sharing Caleb's story. I'm so happy we were able to shine some light on it here and have you both on. So aweekaway.org, check out all the great stuff that they're doing. Really appreciate you being on the show and joining us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys. We really appreciate the opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah. To our donors and our volunteers, just truly grateful.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Well, as we look to wrap up, if you want to be a guest on our show, you can go to lancasterconnects.com/guest, and you'll fill out a simple form, and then we'll connect and look to book you a date on the show. And we always love charities, wonderful charities like A Week Away, small businesses that are doing good things in the community to give back. We'd love to highlight you as well. And we do the prizes on the show too, right? So final chance for you to get your comments in. You can win that gift card. You can win some Gardener's swag, Havasupe Blue swag. You're going to love the color. It's even better in your hand.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It is a nice color. So I will admit, when I saw it on the screen, I'm like, oh, that's going to be intense, but I think it's a beautiful.
It's a good pick.
It's a good pick.
I know a thing or two about
it. Yeah, the silver and the blue. It's just perfect supplement.
Yep. Looks good.
Yep.
So, so my sleep better tip is not from the book, but it's one I've been practicing as of late, and it's one that I think you just heard an awful lot about, and that would be to practice gratitude even in moments of struggle and strife, look for the opportunity to be blessed and to give gratitude. You will sleep better at night. And if you begin your day thinking that way, you're just going to have a much better day. We'll mail you the book. You go to gardnersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better. But I had a different one for you. But in light of what Lynn and what Joe shared, we're just going to say, that giving gratitude and looking for moments of gratitude, even in times of struggle, is real important, and you're going to sleep real well.
So before I do the testimonial, I see Denise's question pop up there. How do you get on the show? Fill out the form at lancasterconnects.com/guest. Podcast producer Chris has got it up there on the screen. Just a simple form. Put your name and information in there and give us a little blurb about what you'd like to talk about on our show. So if you're a small business giving back or a nonprofit or charitable organization, just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing to give back to the community. And we'll receive that, and then we'll reach out with the next steps and get you on the schedule. So lancasterconnects.com/guest. So, we had Lynn and, talking about her family. Of course, Joe, Caleb's friend, kind of a family operation here, owned and operated here at Gardner's, and we do business with families. So we had a handwritten testimonial coming here from Seth and Elisa here in Lancaster. And of course, life changes precipitate the need for mattress changes.
That's right.
So she wrote, we needed a bigger bed to best fit our needs for our 1-year-old and animals along with ourselves. So sounds like everybody's in bed. Maybe they had a smaller bed, but often, young couples starting out, they might have a full size or queen size.
Technically called co-sleeping.
Yeah. And then you've got a bunch of people in the bed, you need a bigger bed. So they visited us. Drew was quick to address them when they came here. So it wasn't like they wandered around for a while. He was able to answer all of the questions and he was very knowledgeable. But what I wanted to highlight here, our overall experience as a family was wonderful and would certainly recommend Gardner's to family and friends. So they had a need for the growing family, and then she felt safe and comfortable here as a family, and the experience we provided matched up to what we put out there in the world. So thank you, Seth and Elisa, for your business and your kind words there. And, we have mattresses to fit any family need, right?
Even if you need to co-sleep, we can handle that.
Right. That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Well, this was a great show. Yeah, they're all good, but this one was really good.
Yep.
It's why we do what we do. Support the community that supports our business. That this show definitely defined that. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on Lancaster Connects. We got to do the prizes. Jeez, I almost forgot. I have a Soup Blue on the mind.
Go ahead, Chris.
Let's spin it away. See, that was a really nice wrap up too.
You were going for it.
It's happening.
All right.
New commenter, new winner, Denise Sheridan.
Denise.
So Denise, maybe you've been watching, but this is our first time seeing you comment. So the gig here is come in anytime we're open. We're open 7 days a week. You can pick your prize. We let our crew know, and you get to pick either the restaurant gift card or the one of the tumblers or flasks. All right.
I don't think we mentioned it, but we are Gardner's Mattress and More. We could have mentioned it at the very beginning, but in case you didn't know, Gardner's Mattress and More, 830 Plaza Boulevard. We're in our showroom, right on the loop around Park City Mall.
I'm kind of a big deal. I just expect people to know where I am, what I do.
Just try to connect the dots here.
Stuff, but yeah, you're right.
There's a spooky circus setting up across the street.
That's right.
So look for the spooky circus, and then you'll look across the street and you'll find us. So yeah, come in, Gardner's Mattress More, get your tumbler.
That's right. All right. Very good. Well, I think is it now okay to wrap the show?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. Very good.
Yes.
We'll see you next week for episode 50 of Lancaster Connects. Take care. Have a great one.